We're pouring off the kombucha that you've already brewed.
And instead of attempting to pour it off of the colony, I'm going to take the colony out and put it into a bowl.
And we were looking at this. We were looking at this earlier. So.
Yeah, I'm going to take this out and put it into this bowl temporarily, and then I'm going to pour the other kombucha off. I'm going to leave a little bit at the bottom for it to sit in the liquid, because then I have to brew new tea for it. And I don't know if I'll even be doing that tonight. I may be doing that tomorrow, but it'll be okay in there for half a day. I just don't want to let this brew too strong, because then it tastes very, very vinegary. This takes on a little bit vinegary of a taste when it starts to ferment. And you want to try to reach I like to reach a little balance between, that vinegary strong taste and a little bit of a sweet taste too left in it. That's why it's important to harvest it at a particular time, my hands are clean. I just washed them, so I'm going to go ahead and take the colony out, and I'm going to pour it into...
What do they call it? A SCOBY?
Yeah, I'm going to pour it into this container.
What does it stand for, though? It's a symbiotic
colony of bacteria and yeast. Yeah.
SCOBY.
So I'm going to go ahead and take out the
also known
SCOBY.
as, the other name for it is a, what do you call it, Mark? The other name? It's a funny name.
Homunculus.
That's what I like to call it. It sounds more...
So that's the homunculus right
Sinister.
It looks like a mushroom.
Homunculus.
Kind of looks like a mushroom.
It's the amazing homunculus.
Right?
There's a lot of kombucha brewers out there. It's more popular than you might think. And it's really great. I love it. So, what I'm just going to do is pour most of this into this container.
Got a potent smell to it, I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah. And it's when you taste it, and it's new when you taste, the first time.
Right.
A lot of people don't really like it the first time they taste it, and then it grows on them after a while.
I was one of them.
That's me too. It
no, I love it.
Yeah. So I'm just going to go ahead and pour right into this one.
There we go. Ooh.
Foamed up a little bit. I'll knock some of that foam off of there.
Knock it out, Mark. Knock it out.
Out of the ball.
Still doing this. Barb, is that plug? Can you plug in for me, please? Thanks.
It's plugged in.
It is? There we go.
Oh, it's a little loose.
Yeah, it went out again. Oh, it's back on
now
again.
It's tight. There you go.
Alright.
There you go.
Alright. Leave a little bit of room, because you'll want to vent this, because it can build up a little bit of pressure from the gas that's in the, it's kind of carbonated. And I'm going to drain some of this right now, and then pour that off into another container to put in the fridge. And I want to filter that. I'm going to use a little mesh strainer. There we go. This stuff is great. I love it because we usually drink it, and by the time it takes to brew, that's usually, we're waiting a couple of weeks. So, it's like we haven't had any in a couple of weeks. So this smells great to me, and I'm sure it's going to taste awesome. A lot of times I'll flavor this with some juice. So I'll put some berry juice in it, like raspberry juice or blueberry juice or something like that. Today I'm going to flavor this with, I have some frozen ginger juice. Because, ginger juice won't stay very long in the fridge. So I've frozen some. I'm going to thaw some out And then I'm going to put some ginger juice in there along with some lemon juice.
Right. Now, would you recommend this chilled or?
Oh, absolutely. It's so much better cold. Yeah. So I'll drink it with ice sometimes even. But if you hit the fermentation just right, you just want to chill it and drink it like that when you don't need to put ice in it.
Right.
So this little bit I'm going to pour back over top of the colony so it has something to sit in. Actually, I'm going to put the I'm going to do that right now. Now I'm going to clean this out and I'm going to put the colony back in the clean jar. And after that, you know, I'll maybe even pour a tiny bit more of that on there. Although it's sitting in, it's got enough to sit in. You don't want to completely take it out of that liquid.
Right.
It'll go into like a dormancy mode kind of. But
how long can you
I'm
do
only
that?
going to let it sit till tomorrow probably because I need a few things to make tea.
Yeah, how long can you do that for?
Really,
Mark?
all I need is some raw sugar. Maybe we'll go to the store and get some raw sugar. What time is it?
It's probably too late.
No, they're open till 10.
I think it's like 9.
Yeah, I'm not going to brew that.
What store's open till 10?
On 10th Street. So,
Really?
yeah, I'm going to go over there and get some sugar for
I didn't
this.
realize.
Some sugar,
So I'm just going to set this
Oh,
aside.
you mean the Acme?
Yeah. So it ferments the sugar. You feed it raw sugar. You could feed it other forms of sweeteners, but raw sugar is what I use. And no, I'm going to go over to the place on 10th and Morris.
Oh, I didn't know that was open that late.
Yeah, they're open till 10. So, you know, that's what it ferments. It ferments raw sugar through the tea. And, you know, once I clean this and put it back, it'll be ready for another batch of tea. You make the tea, you got to make it real sweet because that's what the colony eats is sugar to ferment. And then you got to let it cool totally down to room temperature so you can pour it on. You don't want to ever pour hot tea on top of that.
Right.
It'll hurt it. You know, total room temperature, and then you pour it back on, and it's ready to start fermenting.
Now, how did you figure this out, Mark?
Actually, a friend of mine, Chai, from Indonesia, told me about kombucha. It was a big drink in his village.
That's where we got turned on to
He
it.
used to brew
And
this
he gave us the
big-
homunculus.
Yeah.
in a big, huge glass container, like, you know those old penny, those old water jugs that people used to, you know, put pennies in? He had one that was real wide mouthed at the top, and he used to brew it in a big, you know, 5-gallon or 6-gallon container. And, you know, this is just like a 2-gallon or 2.5-gallon one, but it works really well. So, let me put it over here because I'm going to put the colony back in it. My hands are clean again.
That's always good.
Yeah. So I'm just going to put this layer back in. And again, these split off too, so you can see many of them have split off. You can give any of one of these to your friends and have them start brewing their own kombucha. It's as simple as that. I know it looks disgusting, folks, but I'm telling you, this is healthy stuff.
It does look ferocious.
Yeah.
It looks like a homunculus.
Yeah, that's a perfect word for it.
Yes, that's why I like it.
Yeah.
I
So
enjoy saying it.
they're back down at the bottom. I'm going to just pour a little bit of the old the other kombucha on it. And I'm going to pour even a little bit more on there from this jug because I want it to at least be somewhat covered. I don't want it sitting there dry. All right, so I'm going to leave that much back in there, and we have plenty of kombucha to drink. So, I've pretty deeply researched kombucha.
Yeah.
And the benefits of it are very clear, and it's largely foreign literature, foreign medical literature, studies that have been done with it. The American medical literature is almost non-existent on it because they don't want people to know about this because it's, again, something that prevents cancer.
Yeah.
And, you know, the cancer industry here in the West wants no part.
The ultimate cancer is chemotherapy.
Is pharmaceutical drugs, folks.
Big
The only
pharma.
thing
That's
that
it.
can help
It's
or prevent the disease.
Zoloft.
Don't you know? So I'm just going to cover that back up, move this back over here, and let's have a taste of the kombucha. Actually, let me put some ginger juice in it first. That always kicks it up a notch. So I have some frozen ginger juice. Again, it was totally fresh. If I juiced it today, it would be even better, but I only have some frozen for now. But this was fresh juiced, non-pasteurized ginger. It's totally frozen, so I'm going to just put it in a warm water bath and let some of it thaw.
Now, folks, this, you know, as Mark's saying, is look it up yourself. It helps prevent cancer and cure cancer.
It alkalizes the body when you drink it. This is what's called an alkaline-forming drink. So it's if you were to test it with a pH strip, it would definitely test acidic. But when it enters the body and is integrated into the body, it is an alkaline-forming drink. So when you have an alkaline-forming drink or food, that's going to alkalize the body. In other words, it's going to raise the pH. And
well,
when you are providing a slightly alkaline environment, you know what the exact number is, Barb? Is it 7.1?
What?
The
body
proper
pH
alkaline
is 7.35 to 7.45.
7.35 to 4.5.
So under 7.
So if you could take that up near the top of the alkaline range, like a 7.45, then you're doing pretty well.
You can see the steam coming off right here.
Oops. Yeah, so that's in a little warm water bath. Some of this will melt. I don't want to heat it like, you know, extremely. But as soon as I get that to melt down, I'll pour about a teaspoon of it in here. This I'm gonna just keep this plain for now. But I'll put about a teaspoon of this ginger juice in here, and then we'll give it a shot. We'll drink some. We could put a little bit of lemon juice. I don't have any fresh lemon juice, unfortunately. I don't think we have any lemon juice, do we? Oh, yeah, I have a couple of packets, but these are pasteurized. But we could put a couple of them in there just for some flavor. But,
add a little flavor.
fresh lemon juice would be a lot better.
Right.
With this, obviously. But
And I mean, see, folks, that's it. You know,
buy lemons today. I've forgotten.
if you want a little flavor in it, if you just, you know, want to spice things up and sweeten things up, then there you go.
Put a couple packets of lemon juice in there, and the fresh ginger juice will be added. So this is not organic, but just want to add a little bit of flavor to it. And I brewed this with just raw sugar, not refined. You can use that refined sugar with it, but I prefer the raw sugar instead. I think you could brew this with anything, any natural sweetener. So you could do honey, you could do syrup, you could do coconut sugar, I think. I don't think you can use stevia extract.
No, that's not a real sweetener. It has to have like a calorie content, basically.
Right.
You know.
So I mean, I prefer using raw sugar.
It's feeding the SCOBY.
Right.
And stevia doesn't have any glycemic index effect. It has to have some impact because it's nourishing the SCOBY.
You're labeling everything, I'm guessing? Or? All right. Sweet leaf. Ghost pepper. I don't know about ghosts. That'll wake you up.
That is probably the hottest hot sauce you're going to find anywhere.
Was really hot.
That's actually made in New Germany. Just over the bridge here. Let me see that one.
Wait, what?
Out of curiosity, why do you call New Jersey New Germany?
Because it's probably the cesspit of the United States when it comes to the police state.
Yeah.
As is California and New York. But I think New Jersey is probably one of the worst. I hate even going over the bridge from Philadelphia to even step into that state. You know.
Right.
Many things that are legal here are not legal there, and you don't know about it, and then you end up in jail, like as happened to a friend of ours.
This is called Blair's Ultra Death Sauce.
No, that actually has a little bit of sweetness to it, spiciness. It's not as strong. No, I'm sorry. This is
that's the heavy duty hot stuff.
This
one has a
This is the heavy duty stuff right here.
This is Dave's Gourmet Ghost Pepper. This is the Naga Jalokia pepper.
Now, so you think Dave's is more sweet than the other one?
That's not quite as hot as this one. This one is
really,
man. Yeah, that's the real deal hot right there.
That'll knock you down.
I'm telling you, you're not ready for this.
Don't put that on your scrambled eggs.
Maybe
One drop at a time. Let's put it one drop at a time.
If you did it on eggs, you get a drop and you just mesh it out on the eggs.
Yeah,
maybe.
exactly.
Mix it up.
And guess what? I'll tell you what. When you do that, if you're not used to this, I'm telling you, one drop and you smear it across, something with a fork.
Oh, what just happened to me about 10 minutes ago? Barb will tell you.
Yeah,
light
you up.
But that was nothing like Jay Parker. He poured it like it was hot sauce on his stew. Like literally went like that, and then he insisted on eating it because he didn't want to waste the stew. Even though we were all like, just basically scrap it. It's no good. You can't eat it now. He didn't.
This is ready. I'm gonna try to put some.
He ended up really sick.
Ginger juice.
I bet.
There's yours.
Oh, this one's me?
That's yours.
Ooh.
To take home with you.
Look at this.
There we go. Alright, I got about a teaspoon.
I copied the label.
So look at the amount. That's just how powerful ginger is. That's going to That's going to flavor this.
This is going to be the flavor right here?
Yeah, so this is what I got. This is the liquid.
That smells
after
good.
the warm water. After the warm water bath, that's the amount of liquid. It's about a teaspoon. And I'm putting that in this jug.
And that's all the flavor you need.
I'm telling you,
you can do different things. I mean, some people have used like raspberry tea and things like that.
Yep.
But I mean, we like it plain. You can do it. You can be creative. Nothing will hurt it.
Yeah.
Whatever flavors you like. I mean, if you look in the
just don't
stores,
add sweet and low. No sweet and low.
Oh no, you want to stay away from that junk.
But if you look in the stores, they got all kind of different flavors that they sell. Lemon, ginger, lemon lime, berry.
Yeah.
One of the worst things anybody could do for the health is put artificial sweeteners in the body. They totally acidify the body.
And another thing, there is a tiny bit of alcohol in there. So some people that are like maybe on a medication like Antabuse, that's like, to prevent drinking alcohol treatment.
The fermentation.
And again, Barb is a nurse. Barb is a certified nurse.
It'll make you sick.
Since
it's a very small amount, but that's important for people who are on certain kinds of medicine.
Since on my other videos, on my other camera, again about the vaccines, you're a nurse. Do you recommend them?
Vaccines? No, I don't recommend them at all.
Vaccines for kids? No?
No.
Especially with the flu shot?
I figure especially kids because they're even tinier than grown-ups. And I mean, I've seen people get effects from them. They make you sign a consent when we give them that says, like, if you've had Guillain-Barré or, other neuro problems, don't take these vaccines. Why would they tell you that if they don't affect you at all?
Well, do you think in the medical field, the doctors and all, do you think they know all this crap that's put in our food, all this crap that's...
I do.
I mean,
No, I don't think the doctors know. I do. I think the doctors are not educated very well on nutrition, and I don't think it's like...
Here we go. I'll just take a little bit if you don't mind, Marge. That's a pinch.
The higher up doctors, like back when the Rockefellers, founded the medical society, but the doctors now study what they're told, and I don't think they are very well educated on real nutrition.
I slightly disagree. While I do agree with what Barb said there, I think that many of them do understand what's in our food, and they don't care as long as their Lexus is in the driveway and they're living in their three-car
He's got a point
house. Three-car garage house out in the suburbs, they don't care.
You'll also notice by what they eat, and they will be very well nourished and feeding their families. And how many of them give their families vaccines is a good question.
Give that a shot.
Probably none of them. Thank you, sir.
There are some, but
you want some ice, Barb?
I think there's also the midwives we talked to today. They did not give their children the vaccines. So I thought that was very telling.
Yeah.
That they.
You guys see my vaccine video? I actually went to the Eckerd and confronted the pharmacist. And
I remember that.
When she got caught, not knowing what was in it, I said, "Well, what do you have to say about giving my autistic daughter the shots?" And she goes, I would recommend you ask a doctor." Like, all right, well, why are you giving an answer then? If you should recommend that you ask your doctor before getting.
I personally do not like to give vaccine. And when we have to ask each and every patient.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. We have to ask them as part of our job whether they've been vaccinated, and if not, do they want the vaccine?
This isn't bad.
And
that's awesome.
I try not to encourage them to take it.
This isn't.
That is so much better than any store-bought kombucha that
it's really good.
Buy either.
And it makes you feel good.
It's got a citrus taste.
Yes, very refreshing. Yep. It's to me like a really tasty, healthy iced tea. or lemonade,
Absolutely.
lemon iced tea.
This isn't bad. I did not think I would like this. I smelled it and I was like, I don't know. And
You're
then
probably in the 30% of people that like it when they first taste it. But I would say more people have a kind of a funny feeling or funny taste reaction
when
to
you
it when they
see it.
well, when you see this, when we look at this, it looks like, you know, a human liver or something in there. Like, how do we get this in here?
It really
you know?
does look like liver.
Like
doesn't it?
a cirrhotic liver.
You know,
Regular
so
liver.
well, here's the
Cirrhotic
health,
liver.
here's the health and healthy liver.
Cheers.
So,
Kombucha.
Kombucha.
Yeah, absolutely.
but it doesn't taste bad. Kind of tastes like a mixed drink,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a citrus,
And yeah.
like a
The
mixed.
ginger kicks it up too, you know. And that's just
Ginger's very healthy.
two
for you.
teaspoons of lemon and a teaspoon of sugar in a jug.
It's amazing. You're never gonna find this anywhere else, folks. We're in Mark Passio's house. We've been here all day talking about healthy living, exposing scumbags, and you know, just self-empowerment.
That's right.
This is frigging amazing.
That's it.
And you know, this isn't something that just we can do. It's something that individually we all can do.
Yep.
That's right.
And again, don't take anything that we say. Take it with a grain of salt.
Try for yourself.
Empower yourself.
Yeah.
Educate yourself.
Right.
Make
And
your,
that-
make
Go
food,
look into it
make foods
for yourself.
right?
Right, that's right.
You can make all these foods at home. I mean, Mark is no
That's
gourmet
good.
chef. Let's get that straight. That Mark never was a
Never.
cook.
If you don't mind,
Never.
sir,
Yeah,
I'll have a little more.
Now I'm going to
And,
do something different with this one.
Okay.
Now with this, and if you want to
That's
try
a-
this one, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that's a point to know is that Mark was
Yeah.
never a chef of any sort.
Yeah.
So if he can do it, you can do it in your home.
And I mean, when I mean not only not a chef or not even interested
Making
in
a
food,
scrambled
not-
egg was a
I'm
challenge.
talking about
Making
You know,
scrambled eggs
eating
is a challenge.
worse than anybody. you
Sometimes making scrambled eggs can be rough.
You know, and he has come
35
you know,
pounds overweight. You know, weight.
That's
way
another thing.
more
Mark
so.
was
I
one of the
dropped-
most
dropped
unhealthy
weight.
eaters I ever had met.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, triple Wendy Glock burgers,
Mm-hmm.
you know, was his norm. Eating his meal down in like 2 minutes would be a norm. Eating way large portions. Eating
Soda.
Drinking
Soda.
Yeah, soda was his you
Oh.
know best friend. I mean, he would fall asleep with it, cradling a 2-liter bottle of soda.
You know what's odd? I played this game.
Yeah.
It's on the PlayStation
Yeah, it's
3.
true.
And they have this game out. It's called Devil May Cry.
Uh-huh.
It's a video game. And it's about this guy, Dante, and he's a hybrid. He's half a demon and half angel. And apparently somewhere along the line, the demon messed around with an angel, and that was forbidden. And he was born, and he had a twin brother he didn't know about. But in the game, the beginning of the game, they talk about the demons that control the world. They control it through debt. This isn't a video game.
Wow.
And the demons are talking.
Wow.
They're like, we control them through debt.
Yeah.
Where they're all our slaves. And then you've seen Dante walking with a can of soda, and he's like, this is what they're using to dumb down and control society. This was in a video game that they're
Wow.
saying this.
A lot of these video games I find
I was like, you
have
have to be kidding me.
truth in them.
And he gets
you know?
stuck in between limbo and reality, and he's
Cartoons and
fighting
video
demons
games.
and stuff.
Cartoons and video games have little.
It's Devil May
allegories,
Cry
little
for
stories that are-
PlayStation
yeah.
3.
Sure.
They're hiding these stories, but they're exposing their plan to everyone.
Well, yeah.
Because that's part of what they need to do. They need to tell people what they're doing.
Yeah.
And they do it very sneaky.
And the plan of these demons were to enslave, conquer, and keep humanity constantly in debt. And
Job well done.
Dante's job was in the game was to go in limbo and out of limbo and fight these demons and awaken humanity. It's frigging amazing.
I want to briefly just show you some of the things I have here. Okay. This is water alkalizing drops. They're called pH protector drops. I highly recommend those. That you can
Love
alkalize your water with them. Okay. So once you have some RO water, if you're going to go drink it, throw a couple of drops in here. It even alkalizes the
And
water. That's very good
I
for you.
find it helps my reflux. If
Mark.
I take those, I don't need to take Prevacid or Zantac when I take
This
those.
is Rooibos tea, and this is a loose
Delicious.
form of Rooibos tea. I'll just show you what this looks like in here.
talk
This is
about
a citrus-infused Rooibos tea. This is an antioxidant tea that doesn't have caffeine. It's naturally decaffeinated. I don't know if you'll be able
Question.
to see in there.
Can we
but
make
it's a loose tea.
kombucha with Rooibos?
Oh yeah, you can see it.
I have made kombucha with Rooibos in the past.
a little bit.
Yeah.
It
smells
delicious.
great. We can make cup of this later.
Talk about delicious.
I want to get over
That
to
good?
the store to pick up that sugar because I wanted to not
Yeah.
only use that for the kombucha tea, but I wanted to make a hot cocoa later. Natural hot cocoa.
He's not good at
I wanted to
making
show you a
cocoa.
couple of powders.
Mike's on a roll. I mean,
Just a
Mark,
couple of
Mark's on a roll
powders.
tonight.
There's so many more powders too, but I want to just show you 3 of them. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
this is probably one of the best superfoods in the world. It's called moringa.
I say it really
Moringa
powder, right?
oleifera
Yes.
is the plant.
Super,
Okay, this is from
super.
India, and I believe it also grows in Africa.
Africa, yes.
And I'm telling you, this is.
Where'd
one of
you
the
get this
best-
from?
I got this from Z Natural Foods.
Z
I
Natural
highly
Foods?
recommend Z Natural. Okay. I'd like to see Z Natural like be a sponsor of What on Earth is Happening or something because I get a lot of stuff from them. I will actually just tout that out. You know,
Hold that up, Mark.
I'm not even being paid to do that. I just think that they sell
Mark,
some great stuff.
Can you hold that up a little bit, please?
Yeah, this is Moringa oleifera leaf powder. Okay, you can mix this in with smoothies. I should have added this into that smoothie earlier. I didn't do that, but
Talk about charging you up. That
Yeah.
will charge you up like crazy.
this is apricot seed powder. This is one of the best secrets, the most well-kept secrets in the world. This has high levels of vitamin B17, or what's called Laetrile. Okay, Laetrile is a cancer preventative, and again, the cancer industry is trying to keep this out of people's hands.
That
It's
was one of the things my mom
apricot
used to
seed
do.
powder or apricot.
I mean, this is
kernel
really
powder.
saving lives right now.
Laetrile. That's
You
what
know?
my mom was into back
Yeah,
in the day.
Laetrile,
Way
absolutely.
before its
What
time.
we're doing right now is we're actually giving people information that's saving lives.
Yes.
This is not a joke.
Organic
Keeping you
cocoa
healthy.
powder. This is just real chocolate. It's not refined processed chocolate. So this is just
Bruce
cocoa
Swiss
powder from the
Miss.
original cocoa bean.
Make your own
Yeah.
cocoa at
Yeah,
home.
you don't want to
It's
buy
just
that
as
processed
easy,
stuff.
And cocoa can be healthy.
We're going to make some
A
later.
healthy
I'll show you
treat.
how to make an
Delicious.
organic hot chocolate.
But you get Swiss Miss. It's loaded with like crappy sugars and
Oh, absolutely.
high fructose corn syrup and the chocolate. Explain the difference
And
with the chocolate, Mark.
preservatives and all
How
kinds
the-
of anti-caking agents
Yeah,
and stuff.
explain the difference though, where chocolate can be healthy
Sure.
versus the,
It has
the crappy
resveratrol.
processed chocolate.
Yeah. You want
Explain that.
original raw chocolate, and that has resveratrol in it, and it has it's natural antioxidant. It's so much better for you than any kind of processed chocolates. So
And it's still just as delicious.
buy some raw organic cocoa powder and make a hot chocolate in the winter that way.
Yeah.
This is some another supplement called Ethereum Gold. It's actual monoatomic gold. Okay, and I supplement my
this.
diet with this. These are trace minerals, and this is another one called Altera. These are from Harmonic Enterprises. I've been using these. We've been using these for years. And I actually picked up some of Alex's InfoWars Survival Shield Nascent Iodine. I've been taking
Oh,
this
I
for the
haven't
last
taken
couple
one
of
See that?
weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little expensive, but it's the kind that you can actually use every day, and I'm just going to take it now.
Yeah, I'll have some
It's 6 drops on the tongue. So
sublingual under the tongue.
Oh, what are you doing? Let me get a picture of
It's
this.
sublingual. You put it under your tongue and it absorbs
He's,
through the mucous membrane.
Mark
I'm
is,
putting it right
it's called
on top of my
sublingual.
tongue. I'm not
Mark
gonna-
is ready here. He's
So there's some nascent iodine. I'm going to do something different with my kombucha right now.
Okay.
And I'm going to put some of the...
Hey, Mark,
Oh, this is the other
wanna
one.
do 6?
Organic spirulina powder. Okay? Superfood. Okay? This is very strong tasting. You don't really like it, do you?
That's not my favorite.
Well, this isn't one of Barb's favorites, but I like to make my
But I
kombucha
know
into
it's good
green
for you.
kombucha this way. And they sell this, I think JT's Kombucha, which is a big brand that's sold in stores. They use this to make their green kombucha. It's made with spirulina powder. So you want to go very light with this. Now, in a smoothie, you want to add a lot more. But that little bit is going to make that whole glass dark green. And it will
is pretty green.
taste like...
It is.
It will taste
Green.
like spirulina.
Yeah.
And it's a good way to take the spirulina right in the kombucha. So that's what I do. And you can see it turn to green. Oh, man, that's great.
Another good one you can talk about. We don't have
Now,
the
see,
bottles, but the colloidal
With that
silver.
little bit, you don't like the taste of green kombucha? Just try it. See what you think of that.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, it's not too much. I didn't
Yeah,
hit
that's
it real
all right.
hard. Usually I'll
Yeah,
hit it harder
that's
than
all right.
that,
I
and
can
it'll be
tolerate
real
that.
deep green. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's... the
I
spirulina
like
does
the,
have a
I
very
like
strong
the
taste.
scoop of greens. That's delicious.
Scoop of greens. I don't
We
know
don't
who makes
have
that,
any,
but it's
but-
awesome. It's wheatgrass juice powder and barley grass juice
delicious.
powder. Very expensive,
costly,
but I'm
yeah.
telling you, it's great. Yeah. Yeah, that's
And the
a
colloidal
super
silver
food, too.
is another. We don't have a bottle. We just finished our bottles. But the colloidal silver
Our
is
friend-
great for preventing, treating infections.
Yep.
I swear by that. For like I say, I don't get the flu
I don't get sick.
vaccine. I don't get the flu vaccine, but what I do to prevent flu is strict hand washing, especially while at work. And not, you don't need that bacterial, just really a lot of good hand washing, rubbing, and long amount of time, a good 3 minutes under warm as waters you can take, and keeping your skin hydrated with lotion, make sure you don't have cuts and things. Then I like to take vitamin D3, vitamin C, and colloidal silver, and I stayed well, even though I was in contact with so many patients that had the flu all winter.
Just all
since
around
flu
influenza
season.
constantly,
Yes,
and
constantly
still
at
never
work.
got it,
Yep, and the nurses that got the flu shot and relied on that to be their
They got the flu.
protector, they all ended up sick with the flu.
That's just
and
crazy.
I know they say you
And this is coming from as a nurse. She's a nurse.
They say you can't get the flu from the shot.
Yeah.
They swear that it's not live flu in the shot, but many of them complained to me that after they got the shot, they became very ill. The shot where
They were ill
the
from taking the shot, period,
Yes,
I think. They
yes,
should have never even-
exactly. The spot where they got the shot, quite a few people had reactions, big lumps, sores, and other things like that.
Right.
And many of them, even though they got the shot, they got the flu later down the road, because they'll tell you, well, it doesn't cover every strain. So then why bother to get it? Why expose yourself? Not to mention quite a few people that got, reactions to it. One of our big nurse managers got
instead of
a
putting this whole thing in the fridge, okay?
sure. She got a reaction where she couldn't walk and she was blind for a little while, and
Wow.
I mean she got a really bad reaction. And like I say, if there's no risk of this like they claim, why do they make us have each patient sign a consent form?
Consent form.
Why do we need to sign
insanity.
the consent? Also, I find it very odd that they make us write down all this information. When we give a flu vaccine at work, you have to take the little bottle, you write down what company it came from, the code number from each bottle. You have to write that you gave an information sheet to the patient and that they understood it. All this. Now, every other medicine we give, you don't have to do any of this. Why so strict? Because there's such a risk of life-threatening reactions with this shot. That's why. And to me, that's a little scary.
Right.
So why do I want to put that in my body when I never have had a problem with the flu? Why is it mandatory?
Sanity.
So I got a religious exemption personally.
Did you?
Yeah, I got a religious exemption, and they honored it, saying from a pastor, that stated that it wasn't a thing that I believed in,
Right.
and they did honor it, but not a lot of people that I work with went and got the exemption. They just went ahead and got in line and got the shot, even though they claimed not to want to have taken it. But when they said it was mandatory, they just lined up like the sheeple they are.
The zombies they are.
mean, but they just lined up and said, "Where do I go to get the shot?"
And this comes from years and years and generations of conditioning to not only believe what the man says, but to not empower themselves.
Yeah, scariest of all, a pregnant nurse. And said, "Are you supposed to be getting that while you're pregnant?" And she says, "Oh, yes. My doctor told me this is the best time to be getting it."
Oh my God, it's fucking sickening.
I really it took all my power to just stop myself from...
What do you think about that,
going off
Mark?
on her.
I think it's